Skyscrapers. They don't have to be boring rectangles anymore. Architects are getting bolder, creating buildings that twist, tilt, and turn into shapes you'd never expect a building to look like. Here are 15 skyscrapers built. Number 15. So the Shard in London was opened in 2012, and with a height of about 1,016 feet or 310 meters, it is the tallest building in the United Kingdom and one of the tallest in Europe. It was designed by Italian architect Renzo Piano, and it's a glass structure that at first seems like many others that you'll see in cities around the world, but the top few floors are a whole different story. The Shard is a mixed-use building made up of offices, luxury residences, restaurants, and the Shangri-La Hotel. Its most famous feature is the viewing platform, the view from the Shard, which offers stunning views of London from floors 68 to 72, and on a clear day, visitors can see for what got its name. Amazingly, despite its height and complexity, work on the skyscraper was finished in just 3 years after beginning in 2009. And wasn't built how you might expect. It was designed in a way that they could use top-down construction methods, where the core of the building was constructed first, while excavation for the foundation was still happening. This approach allowed different phases of construction to proceed at the same time and significantly reduced the timeline. Number 14. The Lotus Tower in Sri Lanka. The Lotus Tower, which is officially known as the Colombo Lotus Tower, is the tower in the center of the capital of Sri Lanka. It's the tallest structure in the country, reaching a height of 1,168 feet, or 356 meters, and it was opened in 2019. The tower is mainly used as a telecommunications and broadcasting tower, and it was built from a combination of concrete and steel, with the distinctive lotus bloom at the top. Now, the bloom has a number of petals, each of which represent the nation's cultural beauty. The project did, though, face a number of difficulties during its construction because of its shape. There were endless delays and technical difficulties, which meant that it took 7 years to build. But despite the early setbacks, it's now shown Sri Lanka to be a modern, forward-looking nation. Number 13. Aqua, Chicago. Aqua, a mixed-use skyscraper in Chicago, Illinois, opened in 2009, and with 82 stories and a height of 859 feet or 262 meters, it's one of the tallest in the city. Located in the Lakeshore East neighborhood near Millennium Park, Aqua fulfills a variety of purposes. It contains apartments, condominiums, a hotel, and commercial spaces, and in all, it has nearly 2 million square feet or over 170,000 square meters of floor space. Now, the effect on the exterior is achieved by the use of irregularly shaped white concrete balconies that extend outward in varying lengths. This wave-like appearance creates the illusion of rippling water in a nod to transform the industrial site into a thriving urban community. Features here include outdoor terraces on the 3rd floor featuring gardens, swimming pools, hot tubs, a running track, and a fire pit. And indoors, residents and guests can enjoy fitness facilities, lounges, and even a private theater, creating a lifestyle-focused environment where they can access virtually everything they need within the tower that they live in. Number 12. Marina Bay Sands in Singapore. Opened in 2010, the Marina Bay Sands, I love this one, in Singapore, is surely one of the most recognizable skyscrapers in the world. It was designed by Moshe Safdie. The architectural concept was inspired by a deck of playing cards, and the interconnectedness of the elements there. Located along the waterfront of Marina Bay, it's a center of entertainment, culture, and commerce. The structure is made up of 3 57-story towers that are connected by a cantilevered rooftop platform known as the Sky Park. Covering an area of almost 3 acres, the Sky Park is therefore held on top of a series of jacks, which have a maximum range of motion of up to 10 inches or about 50 centimeters. The entire complex has over 2,500 luxury rooms and suites, the retail mall, the shops at Marina Bay Sands. That's a haven for high-end shopping, featuring luxury brands and fine dining restaurants. Interestingly, even though it looks completed, there are further plans for the site. The company that owns it, Las Vegas Sands, has announced that a 4th tower will be added to the complex by 2028, which will contain a further 1,000 hotel rooms and a new theater. Estimated to cost around $3.3 billion to complete, and there's no mention whether this will also involve an extension of the Sky Park, but it was initially built with thought to a possible expansion, so they'll be able to do this by adding further sections if needed. Since opening, the Marina Bay Sands has been a major driver of Singapore's tourism and economy. It was part of the government's strategy to boost tourism, and within the first year, it attracted millions of people to Thailand's deep cultural association with elephants, which are celebrated as symbols of strength, wisdom, and good fortune. The building rises to a height of 334 feet, or about 102 meters, and has 32 floors. Its three main towers are connected by horizontal structures forming the shape of an elephant, complete with features such as eyes, ears, and tusks. It's got residential apartments, office spaces, retail shops, and even a small shopping mall. The mixed-use nature of the building is quite common in Bangkok, where spaces often serve multiple purposes. It includes more than 300 apartments that cater to residents who enjoy the central location and the unique appearance, and then there are commercial and office spaces that make it a center for businesses in the area. Now, while some might view its design as quirky or eccentric, it is undeniably iconic, and it serves as a conversation starter. The eyes of the elephant, represented by circular windows, double as observation decks, offering amazing views of the skyline. The architects and engineers had to ensure that the building... So the Absolute World Towers, which you may also know as the Marilyn Monroe Towers, are a pair of residential skyscrapers located in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. Completed in 2012, they have a curvaceous, twisting design that's very different to what you'd normally expect of a high-rise building. Standing 589 feet and 528 feet, the towers are part of a five-building complex that's called Absolute World. Their wavy sculptural design was chosen through an international competition in 2006, which drew over 90 submissions from architects around the world. The design was inspired by organic forms, with their twisting shapes resembling the fluidity of the human body. This led to their nickname Marilyn Monroe Towers, in honor of the Hollywood actress known for her hourglass figure. Each floor of the towers rotates slightly from the one below, and the result is a continuous dynamic curve that gives the buildings the appearance of being in motion. Now, the towers are in geometry. The towers have since won a number of awards, including the Emporis Skyscraper Award in 2012, which recognized them as the best new skyscraper completed that year. They also have been featured in global architectural exhibitions, putting them at the forefront of contemporary design. Number 9. The F&F Tower in Panama City. The F&F Tower, also known as the Revolution Tower or simply the Twist Tower, is one of the most recognizable skyscrapers in Panama. Completed in 2011, the 52-story tower rises to a height of 795 feet, or 242 meters, and its unique spiraling design has made it a symbol of ingenuity in Latin America. At first, it seems like it was purely an aesthetic choice, and while the designers certainly set out to try and doing something different, they actually found there was a functional use to a shape like this as well. The rotation of each floor actually helps reduce wind load on the structure, which is important in a place like Panama, which is prone to strong winds in the area. Number 8. The Turning Torso in Malmö, Sweden. The Turning Torso, located in Sweden, opened in 2005 and continues to sum up the spirit of the city. The residential skyscraper is 623 feet or 190 meters tall, which makes it the tallest building in Scandinavia. Designed by Spanish architect Santiago Calatrava, the design was inspired by his earlier sculpture, Twisting Torso, which depicted a human body in motion. Its concept is brought to life in the building structure, which appears to twist a full 90 degrees from base to top. It is mainly a residential building with 147 apartments spread across its 54 floors. The interiors are designed to maximize space, light, and views, with large windows providing sweeping views of the Öresund Strait and Malmö. In addition to residences, the tower also includes some office spaces on the lower floors and a conference center, making it a multifunctional structure. Of course, there's more to the design than just stacking offset cube yard area that's been redeveloped into a model of sustainable urban living. The building's received numerous accolades for its design, including the prestigious Emporis Skyscraper Award in 2005. It is often said to be one of the most beautiful skyscrapers in the world, inspiring architects and engineers ever since. It's also become a major tourist attraction for the city, with visitors from around the world coming to enjoy the views from its observation areas. Number 6. The Clock Towers in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The clock towers in Saudi Arabia are some of the most unusual skyscrapers in the world. Completed in 2000, they're a major part of the skyline and are a part of the Kingdom's center, which is one of the city's most important landmarks. Costing around $15 billion to build, this development is made up of 7 skyscraper hotels, with most of them reaching heights between 720 and 920 feet. In the center, though, is the Focal Clock Tower, which is 1,972 feet or 601 meters tall. Behind them, inside the tower, is an astronomy exhibition, and above them is an incredible spire with an 8-story glass base. Amazingly, the clock faces can be seen from 16 miles away. The towers are just 1,000 feet from the largest mosque in the world and the most sacred site in Islam, the Great Mosque of Mecca. The reason for building them in the first place was to modernize the city in the way that welcomes millions of pilgrims who travel there each year. It is a real showpiece structure. It's a one-of-a-kind design that's taken the pride of place in Mecca. The argument was that this development was bringing Mecca into the modern times by providing an increasing number of people that travel there each year, and by all accounts, it's been hugely successful, even if it's meant that an important piece of history has been lost. Number 5. 30 Hudson Yards in New York. 30 Hudson Yards, which can be found on Manhattan's West Side in New York City, is a leading part of the Hudson Yards development, which was the largest private major corporate tenants such as Warner Media, Wells Fargo, and KKR. 30 Hudson Yards is also home to The Edge, the highest outdoor sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. It's located on the 100th floor. The Edge juts out 65 feet or 20 meters from the side of the building, offering amazing views of New York City. The Edge has become one of New York's most popular attractions, giving tourists and locals a unique perspective. The site sits above an active rail yard, meaning a massive platform had to be built to support the development. This platform, which is made of concrete and steel, supports the weight of the skyscraper and surrounding structures. The building's position in the Hudson Yards neighborhood has been vital to its success, too. At its base is the shops and restaurants at Hudson Yards, which is a luxury retail and dining destination. And next to it is the Vessel, which is an interactive art installation and public centerpiece. These, along with nearby attractions like the High Line and the Shed, which is a cultural performance space, create a dynamic environment that makes this a highly appealing place, a circular rooftop observatory that offers an incredible view of Osaka. These towers resemble a portal or gate to the sky, in line with the architect's vision for the space. The structure's futuristic appearance is softened by the use of natural elements, including open-air spaces and extensive use of glass. The floating garden, which is on the 39th and 40th floors, is the Umeda Sky Building's main attraction. It features 360-degree open-air deck where visitors can look out across unobstructed views. Having become the focal point of the area, the Umeda Sky Building hosts a variety of attractions and events. At the base of the towers is the Takemikoji Alley, which is a recreated Showa-era street that's filled with traditional Japanese restaurants and shops. In this area, you can take a journey through Japanese history, in contrast to the modern building above. Many more like it have been built since, but this was the first one to attempt something like this on such a scale. The glass elevators, which cover a significant distance between the towers, were really difficult to install. With modern construction techniques, however, it's absolutely possible to build structures at surprising angles, and the most extreme of these in the world is Capitol Gate, which is in Abu Dhabi in the UAE. It's known as the Leaning Tower of Abu Dhabi. The skyscraper was completed in 2011 and reaches a height of 525 feet or 160 meters with 35 floors. Its design has earned its recognition as one of the most innovative structures in the world, and it holds the Guinness World Record for being the world's furthest leaning man-made tower. The building tilts 18 degrees westwards, which is 4 times more than the Leaning Tower of Pisa. A technique called pre-cambering was used, where the concrete was poured at an angle to use the leverage force to handle the leaning shape of the tower. The core was then reinforced with a dense mesh of steel bars and anchors the building into the ground with a complex system of 490 piles drilled up to almost 100 feet or 30 meters deep. Capitol Gate is the centerpiece of the premium office spaces that are sought after by companies looking for a prestigious address in Abu Dhabi. The glass exterior is also designed to optimize natural lighting while also minimizing heat, thereby lowering the need for artificial lighting and air conditioning. And water recycling systems make the best use of limited resources that are available in this desert nation. Number 2. The Ryugyong Hotel in Pyongyang, North Korea. To find the strangest hotel in the world, not just by its shape, but because of the story behind it and its unfinished state, it is possibly no surprise that you'll need to head to North Korea. It's there that in the country's capital city of Pyongyang is the Ryugyong Hotel. which is known by some as the Hotel of Doom. It's a massive pyramid-shaped structure that reaches a height of over 1,080 feet or 330 meters at its peak. This makes it by far the tallest building in North Korea. But despite its ambitious scale and design, though, the Ryugyong Hotel has remained largely point at the top. The name Ryugyong translates to mean the capital of willows, which is a historical reference to the city of Pyongyang itself. The original plan was for the hotel to be completed by 1989, in time for the 13th World Festival of Youth and Students. However, construction was troubled by delays, technical challenges, and of course, a lack of resources. The collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, which significantly impacted North Korea's economy, brought construction to a halt. And by the mid-1990s, the unfinished structure had, instead of being the symbol of the country's prosperity, instead became a reminder of its economic struggles. Quite what the future holds for this structure is, though, unknown. Occasionally, it's lit up at night with LED lights, particularly during festivals and celebrations, which looks incredible against the backdrop of Pyongyang. It seems, though, that the project has yet again run out of funds, and with the country failing to have developed a tourism industry, it's not entirely clear who would use it if it ever was fully completed. It's now you'll find one of the most unconventionally shaped skyscrapers in the world. Known as Taipei 101, it was completed in 2004 with a height of 1,667 feet or 508 meters, which was at the time the highest in the world until it was surpassed by the Burj Khalifa in 2010. The tower's shape resembles a bamboo stalk, which is a plant that symbolizes resilience, growth, and prosperity in Chinese culture. This form is achieved with the use of 8 stacked sections, each made up of 8 floors, which is a number that's considered highly important in Chinese numerology as it signifies wealth and good fortune. One of Taipei 101's most important features is its ability to withstand natural disasters, particularly earthquakes and typhoons, which are common in Taiwan. One of the ways that it maintains structural stability is its tuned mass damper, which is a massive 660-ton steel sphere that's suspended between the 87th and 92nd floors. This damper sways in the opposite direction of the building's movements. During lower floors have the Taipei 101 Mall, which is a shopping center featuring high-end international brands, and the upper floors are dedicated to office spaces and are used by major multinational corporations and local businesses. One of the most popular attractions here in Taipei 101 is the observation deck on the 89th floor. It's got an open-air deck on the 91st floor, too. From here, you can see a panoramic view of Taipei and the surrounding mountains. It can be really stunning at sunset or when the city is lit up at nighttime. High-speed elevators, too, which are some of the fastest in the world, transport visitors from the 5th floor to the 89th floor in just 37 seconds, adding an exhilarating element to the experience. Every year, too, the building is the focal point of Taipei's New Year's Eve fireworks display, an event that attracts thousands of people and is broadcast around the world. The skyscraper's exterior, which is fitted with thousands of LED lights, often features displays to commemorate national holidays, global events, or even cultural festivities. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Thank you to our channel members.